Well, good evening, everybody. Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network. Welcome this evening. And on your screen right now, you're looking at information coming up for a basketball 3-on-3. And you know, I always said we always talk about football and 7-on-7. I always said if somebody comes along and does a legitimate, outstanding 3-on-3 league, it could be highly successful, especially in this county. Well, I can't think of a better person to come along to do something like this than the new head basketball coach for the Heritage Panthers. I'm very excited for this guy, and we're going to talk about that first. But again, on your screen right now, Heritage High School 3x3 basketball registration, $50 a player from September 27th through October the 25th. You're guaranteed 16 games. Come on now. $50 and 16 games. You do the math. Break it down, and welcome right here back on Brevard Sports Network, my man, Mr. Coach, head coach of the Heritage Panthers, sporting that Panther blue, Corey Williams. Corey, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. Blessed, blessed, blessed. How's everything going?
It's great, and it's great to have you back on. And it's great to have you on. We've discussed, we've done so many things together, but I can't think of anything I'm more excited about than you being the head varsity basketball coach for the Heritage Panthers. Let's talk about that first. Take me through. You saw this job open. Why did you believe this was going to be the right place for your unbelievable coaching ability?
Oh man. Well, it's just all wrapped up in a blessing. I always say it came back full circle. Coach Link was able to reach out to me and he just asked me if I was interested in the job. Took me a while to actually come up with that decision. Talking with Merritt Island Christian, everything that we was building up over there. Big shout out to the Cougars, by the way. They're still family. Um, and I just thought, that this would probably be a good chance, good time, good opportunity to go ahead and go help out over with Heritage to help, just kind of restructure, rebuild basketball over there with the basketball program. And me, it was closer to home. I think that was one of the biggest things. Just my route back and forth from Palm Bay to Merritt Island every day, man, I was getting in sometimes around 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So with this one being a little closer, it helps. I'm able to be, just in contact with a lot of the kids more often. We're able to get a lot more done, which is great. And I think it's just something that's just needed right now over at the school and then just for the community.
Merritt Island Christian, I, listen, I love Merritt Island Christian athletics. I love everything they do over there. But this is, I don't think people understand Heritage sits in there are 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, 6A, 7A. As far as Brevard County goes, Heritage is in the highest classification that we have here in Brevard County in terms of 1A, 2A, 3A, and so you are really you're going to be getting in there playing with some of the best basketball teams in the state in terms of once you get to the playoffs and things like that. What did you like about? And I know the whole closer to home thing and all, but why did you think, as you looked at Heritage, because there were quite a few basketball job openings this year in Brevard County, when you looked at Heritage, what was the one thing about the program that stood out to you?
A lot of the CTE courses that they have there.
Okay.
Got the new electrical CTE class over there now. I was a big fan of their, I believe their sports medicine program
Yeah.
out there. Man, it's just you walk in, you could just feel it. The facility is nice. I call it like a little miniature LA Fitness, just with the training programs that they have back there, the equipment, just the people over there, the community over there, just cool, the environment. I think Coach Lynn is doing an awesome job. and building up his staff and just the vision that he has for the school, man. I mean, I brought in right away. I thought that
You got a pretty good principal and AD over there too, and I believe it's Mr. Stephen Link and AJ Almer.
yeah,
Principal Link running around. I still can't get him running around a basketball court in a referee jersey out of my head. But and Coach Link too, by the way, and of course Coach Almer. A lot of people don't know or do know. Coach Almer. Mark Ainsley was a great football coach there, but it was AJ Almer that put that program on the map from a football perspective. All right, you've been there. You've got your players. What does Coach Corey, need to do to make the Heritage Panthers basketball program? Because I know you're not going in there to settle for second or third place in the Cape Coast Conference tournament. What do you need to do to make this program the best in the Cape Coast Conference?
listen, I'm gonna put it like this: I don't have my players yet, so we're still working on it. And for me right now, man, it's just really getting in there, getting the work done that needs to be done to help build up a program over there. So I know my expectations is again just the mindfulness to help get our players focused, just mentally on the court, off the court, making sure our academics are good, and just building a better future of basketball through there. I know the wins are going to come, losses are going to come, whatever the case may be, but we're going to go with the flow of things. And if you know my mindset, you know we're going to make an impact, man. Big time.
Corey, you have been a part of this community advocate. You are a voice for this community, a mentor, a leader. You and I have walked together on different things. We have done back to school backpack. You, me, Danny Espling. We have done so many things together. And so, looking at all of your great experience and what you've done for the community, how has all of it helped you become a better basketball coach?
It helps me to keep more engaged in things. Um, just seeing the things that you and I have seen, and just to help, the service that we were able to go ahead and bring in. I think just being a basketball coach has taught me that patience to be more of a listener, than anything. And whenever I'm saying listening, I'm like we're talking about listening to the things that can't be heard within our kids in sports nowadays. And our kids are going through so much, that we want them to be on the right path as far as sports. But sometimes we miss out on academics. Sometimes we miss out on the future upbringing of the things that they have. So utilizing the sport that you love and putting it as a platform for you to do service to community and to the world. So that's what it's taught me, and that's what I want to be able to give back. And I always tell the kids, like, don't take advantage of this game. The game can open up doors for you if you're doing it the right way. And that's my message to them. That's what all my community efforts, with the Space Coast Stars, XCS Academy, that's all it's really brought us into, man. It's just service and how we can give back through what we love to do. And I mean, talking about meeting some amazing people on the way, Coach AJ with Skills 360. He's coming in, he's helping us out, man. Things are looking great. He's the girls' coach this year, so I got to give him a
Yeah.
shout.
My favorite award that I think you ever won was the 4 under 40. And that was really cool, man, seeing you win that award. And then, of course, watching you hold that Coach of the Year award that you were given by the Orlando Magic, that was pretty cool, too. Out of all the things, man, that you've been, as you will say, blessed to have been awarded, which one sits at the center of the shelf? Which award is the one that you're proudest of?
Oh man, honestly, just being a dad.
I
Uh,
like that.
I mean, that's one because it gives your kids something to talk about. They enjoy it. My little ones, they'll challenge me basketball sometimes, and sometimes they know that this is what I do. They see it. They're part of it. Just seeing their faces whenever I'm doing what I'm doing. I knowing that I'm doing it for the right reasons. I know that they're seeing the hard work and the effort that goes into making what they want to become a reality. So it's about legacy and foundation setting, and it starts, yeah, of course, with our youth at home.
Yep.
So that's one of the biggest things I would say, as far as sports.
So have you? I'm trying to pull up the schedule here, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at your schedule from last year. So I got one particular question I want to ask you. Have you put your schedule together yet?
Yes, our schedule is put together. We're sitting at maybe 24 games right
Okay.
now.
Are you playing astronaut?
Yeah, man.
I had to ask. For those that don't know, Corey
Yes,
is an astronaut alum.
we are
What?
playing the heritage, man. That's gonna be amazing.
It's going to be fun, man. I'm excited for that one. Corey, tell me, man. Let's talk about this camp. What is this camp and why?
It's a 3-on-3 basketball league. So we wanted to put a league format together to really help with the fundamentals of basketball. Having kids understanding floor spacing nowadays, very important. We talk about shrinking the court versus why we want to expand the court on offense. And I think 3-on-3 has great concepts whenever it comes to floor spacing and those basic fundamentals. Kids are going to be able to get more touches with the basketball rather than a 5-on-5 situation, to where you may have one person that's super ball dominant and other kids are standing around. I've seen it within the past leagues that we ran, and I want to get more of our kids, active in this. So I think that this actually helps them to stay active, stay aware of everything that's going on. Um, Go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
It's going to be fast paced. So then it's going to be able to help out with their critical thinking on the court, quick decision making, things like that. So this is what our kids need more of, to just keep them active, keep them thinking on the fly, even, and just again, just with basketball, it's nonstop motion going on.
What if I ask you if there's a student athlete right now? Look, Florida is one of those states where it's an open transfer policy. There are kids that want to play for certain coaches, certain systems, certain styles because they believe it's going to help them reach the next level, and there's not a thing wrong with that. So, what would you say your basketball coaching philosophy is? What do you want to see from your offense? And obviously, defense is key in basketball, but there are ways to get it done. So what do you want to see from your offense, and what do you like to do defensively?
I mean, I just want to see offensively nobody standing still. That's all. Everybody's got to be able to move. And I can't give everything out, man.
No, I
But
know.
defensively, man, we got to be dogs. And that's part of my philosophy. Like, offense is the most inconsistent part of basketball there is, but defense, that's the most consistent part. So again, offense is inconsistent on a daily basis. We get so caught up. If you really think about it, right? Whenever a kid scores, everybody's going crazy. Everybody, yeah, 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 yeah. But then whenever they don't score, they feel like they're not contributing anything else. And that's not even, you're talking about 5% of the time. I heard it from Billy Donovan. 5% of the time, a basketball player is going to have the ball in his hand. But what are you doing the other 95%? So just getting kids to understand that other 95% may be off the ball, maybe having your hands up on defense. So just having that, that tough grit, defensive mindset, man, that's everything. And then, just having players stay aware of everything, how to tap players in to get into the zone of the game a lot easier now.
All right. Once again, the information about the camp is on the screen. It's time for you and I to have a real conversation here.
Yeah, man.
And this conversation excuse me, needs to encompass Brevard County basketball as a whole. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious as to what your take on it. Now, let me give you my opinion as a sports broadcaster. And so I don't, over the last 3 to 5 years, I've seen what I believe is a downturn in play in basketball, especially on the boys' side of this equation. Last year in the first round of the FHSAA playoffs, it was not a pretty sight when you looked at those scores and against Brevard County teams. I know more than anything how many different club basketball teams there are. But the bottom line is that I have felt like the overall quality of boys high school basketball has suffered. Now I don't know enough about the game to say why, but I know what the eye test tells me. I know when I love the game of basketball. I would consider myself a student of the game of basketball. Not very good at it, but I know it. So I know what I've seen. How do you respond to that?
Man, we got to take ego out of the game, and that's one of the main things that I see. Um, it can go from coaches, it can go down to the play. That we like that ego drive so much. It's okay to have an ego. It's not okay to let your ego really run things for you. You know, again, like I always feel like it comes from the head. It has to start with the coaches, and that's something that people will look at me and they'll be like, "Oh, you're being soft." No, it's not being soft. It's showing them. I mean, as a coach, if you really think about it, why am I yelling at my kids to you know, keep their emotions in check whenever I can as a coach? I mean, it's like that Phil Jackson type mindset. And whenever we're seeing our players playing with ego, they're making the game about themselves.
Yeah.
So, we need to make, just make basketball, having them, basketball is a team sport. If you want to make it about yourself, go play tennis, go play golf. It's okay. Still
Right.
gonna get your competition, but go do that. With basketball, you're gonna have some nights where, I mean, it's gonna be hard for you to go in and shoot, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad player, overall. And I think that's what I don't think that the mental part of the game is really being taught appropriately. And that starts with, yes, youth development. Yes, we want to teach our kids to be tough. Um, we want to teach them to most importantly have a tough mind whenever it comes to it. And a lot of times kids they may feel that this program isn't for me. I need to go elsewhere. Well, with the transferring and everything that's going on, in today's game, man, you got to learn to get along with people that you don't like, and that's the major thing. Not even don't like, you may not agree with. You don't have to see eye to eye. It's always something that you can gain from it. And running away doesn't solve issues. Doesn't solve that because you're gonna keep running your whole life. I don't like this. I gotta go to another school. I don't like that. We got to get away from that. Like, take yourself out of it and understand, what can I learn? How can I become a better teammate? How can I be a better person through this game? Because the game is supposed to teach life lessons. That's why I say don't cheat the game. What can you take out of this and apply it to life? And that's why I say sometimes stuff's not going to go your way. How do you respond? How do you respond to adversity? You can't run away from it. You know, you got to go through it because on the other side of adversity, that's where your greatest blessing is at. You just got to go get it. You got to be willing to go get it.
The answer of ego is perfect because it even goes. Let's, I'm going to say down to the youth AAU club ball stuff. Because if one parent feels like his son isn't getting enough playing time, he'll go start a whole nother league. That's ego, man. That is all about ego. And so when you do this, you are what the quality of coaching, and I loved your answer is exactly why you're the kind of guy that Florida Today selects for 4 under 40. because I think it's a great answer. I can't remember who it was that once told me that. They said, Alan, if I'm constantly hollering and screaming at officials on the sidelines, not that I don't do it because I do it, but my players, if I'm constantly hollering and screaming at them and officials, and what am I teaching them? If I'm calm, cool, and collected, and then I'm really upset about something and lose my temper a little bit, then they're gonna know. I mean, there's what's the old expression? Pick your battles, right? And in a situation like that, pick your battles. That's true with referees. That's true as coaches with your players. Not every battle is worth picking. You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Sure.
how does this all get fixed? How do we get better in our community at this level? Because I want to see these kids go on. I mean, when I first started covering high school basketball, we had kids going to play for D1, P5 schools who are now overseas in Europe playing. How do we get better?
Just staying persistent. I mean, just really the crazy part about it is that basketball is just going to go with the flow of things for a little bit. And right now, transfer is heavy. What can you offer me is heavy. All that stuff is heavy. But if we really wanted to get better, we got to start having these tough conversations as far as coaches to players and parents. And it's not being like, oh, your kid sucks, so we don't want to. No, it's not that. It's really teaching the game on the fundamental levels. You don't need 10 to 15 dribbles to go in and make something happen. And whenever that's happening, you're gonna see better basketball here. You, you,
Yeah.
you're gonna you're gonna see that, and that's just something that I think all coaches should commit to. I mean, granted, I can't put myself in that position. I
Right.
can't speak for, but it is something. Whenever we're talking about skill development and things like that, like how are you getting others better around you? Because that's what true leadership is about. It's just not about you. It's how can you get others around you better? And there's two type of leaders. It's either you can lead from the front or you can lead from the back. I always say I'm that leader that will lead from the back because I can see what's going on ahead. You know,
Yeah, I never thought about that. I like that.
you know.
I like that.
But just whenever it comes down to it, just holding our kids accountable. Like I said, as coaches, we need to really start working on ourselves as well because we want these kids to be the best version of themselves, but we've got to reflect that. We got to be able to reflect that within ourselves as well because I can't give you what I don't have, you know so yeah, it starts with self, man. And if we can go ahead and improve ourselves, then we can improve our kids too and relate
It
to them.
It makes perfect sense to me. I mean, I just, and the other thing too is, you see a lot of these kids who, and some of the kids, I don't want to see a kid playing at four different. While I'm an advocate for the transfer, I don't want to see one student athlete playing at four different schools in 4 years. I don't think you gain anything from that. I think ultimately what ends up happening is, yeah, maybe he gets recruited and goes to college, but we never hear from him again. He's not going to play when he gets to college in a lot of these cases. That's a red flag to any good college coach when you've got a player who's moving into four different schools in 4 years. So I do think it's an ego thing, and I do think that ego is a thing that sits forefront. And you're right, we all have them, but how many of us keep them in check? All right, as we wrap up here with Coach Corey Williams, and again, all of the information is on the screen about the camp coming up. And once again, I love the premise of this camp. Guaranteed 16 games for $50. Can't beat it. Coach,
Yeah,
what do you want everybody to know about
sure.
your program in this camp as we close out? You can tell us one thing. What is it?
Let's have fun. Let's get back to better basketball here. Let's keep building up basketball in the county the right way. And it takes a village. And that's been my saying for years, man. And whenever we're able to come together and we're able to make things happen, man, we see the results of it. And I know with the academy, everything that we've done, everything that you've done, we have seen so much blossom, out of it. And we just want to keep that going on a good note.
Coach, I love you. You know that. You and I go back. We do. And
Yeah,
I appreciate everything, man, that you've meant for us. And we'll be there for you when you tip off. I'm saying it now. As long as your first game doesn't fall on a football Friday night that's a playoff game, we
there
will
we go.
be there for your first basketball game as the head coach of the Heritage Panthers. Coach, thank you so
We appreciate.
much for coming on tonight, and I'm very excited for you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate everything, man. You already know that you do, especially for this county, man. I think it's amazing, and it's a blessing to constantly keep working with beside you and just having our real conversations and talks. It's much needed.
We always do, don't we? We always
Yeah,
do. We got to go down there. We got to get back down to Applebee's and get one of those adult Pepsis one night, Coach.
yeah.
You have yourself a great night, and thanks so much, man.
I appreciate you. You do the same, okay?
Yes, sir. For Coach Corey Williams, I'm Alan Slaughter-Zinski for the Brevard Sports Network.